City of Wales. Very special day. We're here for the world premiere of the first episode of the new series of Doctor Who. Peter Capaldi, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Very nice to see you. Very nice to see you. What's your immediate reaction when you see 4,000 people cramming onto the haze in Cardiff?
Oh, it's absolutely fabulous. I didn't expect this amount of people, and they're so good-hearted as well. Some of them have been there for hours, and they're so cheerful, and it just reminds me again and again that Doctor Who is a good thing in the world, because it just spreads so much joy among people. It's wonderful, and people have been so kind to me here anyway in Cardiff, that it's just lovely to actually get out and spend a little bit of time saying hello to them.
But Peter, you know, there's a couple out there. They had a Doctor Who themed wedding from the United States of America. They've come here to time their honeymoon with the premiere.
Yeah. I actually met them.
Did you?
And they said, this is the second day of our honeymoon. I thought, oh, how extraordinary to be here. And I said, where do you come from? And they said, Iowa. And I discovered that there seem to be a lot of people in Iowa that are crazy about Doctor Who. I don't know why. I don't know what Iowa looks like. But I always find it surprising because I'm so used to being... Doctor Who is so British. And obviously I grew up with it, and it seems such a kind of, it seems to be powerfully British, and that to find people in South Korea or in Mexico or in the US who are crazy about it is a delightful surprise. But I often wonder what it is that they see in it.
Do you know what's very interesting, Peter? You know, it was away from our television screens in Britain for such a long time. We were talking to Brian Minchin, the exec producer, just a few moments ago. It's been away for such a long time, and yet it's roared back. So successful now. It's difficult to imagine British television without Doctor Who.
Yes. I don't think anyone expected it to reach this level of success. I mean, I think when it came back because there were a number of very, very gifted and talented fans, like Russell T Davies, who also happened to be an incredibly gifted writer, and Stephen Moffat, who's a genius as well. They wanted this show back, but I don't know whether the BBC were that keen on it. But when it reappeared, I think people were just gobsmacked by how successful it was. It's a mystery, really, ultimately.
But Peter, you must have had a keen interest in what was happening in the world of film and television. So when Julie Gardner and Russell T Davies go on television to say we're going to resurrect Doctor Who, your immediate reaction? It'll never work?
No, I thought that's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. I thought that's an amazing idea.
Did you think there was a space for Doctor Who then, in the era in which we watch TV now?
I think because of the personnel involved, because it was Russell, I knew that it would be special and it would be made by somebody who loved the show. And I think that was the key thing, that the show, and it remains to this day, a show that is made by people who are deeply, deeply bonded to it and to its whole history.
And do you think, Peter, that's important, that it has to be made by people with an extreme passion for Doctor Who, the brand?
I think it's important. I think it's particularly when you have a show that it becomes increasingly successful like this, there is a sort of a pressure to make sure that it can be a successful piece of merchandise. Now that's not what beats at its heart. Its heart isn't about selling. Its heart isn't about how many DVD copies it sells or how successful it is all over the world. Its heart is the affection and bond that people feel with it. And fans and people who are great supporters of the show are, I think, the best people to maintain that bond, to maintain that flame, because it often comes under pressure from the success, if you like. I mean, sometimes success can be quite a negative thing when you're dealing with something as fragile and intimate as this. But luckily, we've got great people in charge, so here's to it.
You've done so much, Peter. What was it like? I have to ask you about that first day on the set. You step onto that set, it's Doctor Who. You're the Doctor. You're the new Doctor. How does Peter Capaldi feel?
Well, it's quite scary because, I mean, my very first day here was stepping out of the TARDIS. And when you find yourself inside the TARDIS, inside the police box for the very first time, and of course it's not really a TARDIS. It's not bigger on the inside than the outside, and it's a little bit drafty. And there's a prop man in there with a smoke gun, and Jenna's in there as well. And it's all quite cramped. And but you just have to say, stick your courage to the sticking place and step out. And it's a joy. Who wouldn't want to be Doctor Who? So yes, there is fear and anxiety and a sense of responsibility about it, but it's a gas. It's the best it's the best role in British television as far as I'm
Amazing.
concerned.
And I got sent the first episode and a number of images over the last couple of days of you. I opened up that image of you as the Doctor, and immediately I was just struck by how well dressed you are as well. The top button's done up. You've got the beautiful red lining. You look the Dr. Peter. I have to say, congratulations.
Thank you.
You look absolutely magnificent. Before I'd even seen a single frame of the new episode, you look magnificent. How important is that, the dress? Because it's very much about that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, well, basically what I wanted to do was to be quite stark and to bring everything back to basics, really. And really I just had a concept of them being in dark colours. And just with a plain white shirt.
Do you have a say in how you dress?
Yeah, I mean it's a dialogue, and
it's a dialogue. He said, smiling.
People have a lot of ideas about how Doctor Who should dress, and so what I did was I was happy to explore any idea anybody had about Doctor Who's dress, and so I went to costume houses, and with Howard Burton, the costume designer, was brilliant. He and I both had a sort of sense of what we wanted to do with it, but we thought the best thing to do was to put on anything anybody said they would like to see me in, and take pictures of it, and we might have discovered something along the way that we liked. So there are thousands of photographs of me in the most ridiculous Doctor Who outfits, but this was the one that actually made me feel like Doctor Who. And to everybody's credit, as soon as I showed up in it, everybody just said, yeah, there was no question about it. And that's what you want. It's unequivocal, it's Doctor Who from 360 degrees, and people just buy it.
And do you think that in, say, 20, 30 years' time, that people will be wearing that fantastic coat that you've got on with red lining? Look at the fans out here today. They're all dressed in the Tom Baker scarf. Do you think it will be as iconic? Do you hope it will be as iconic?
Well, I hope it would be, but one of the key things I wanted to do was to put something together that people could imitate cheaply. That they wouldn't have to buy a whole pile of stuff to do it. I wanted something that kids could emulate just by grabbing stuff out the wardrobe or by buttoning up their school shirt or whatever. So I wanted it to be accessible. But I hope so. I mean, it depends on whether how successful the show is, and I don't know. We may. That's all in the lap of the gods. Let's see how it goes.
Peter Capaldi, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much indeed. So I'm going on stage very shortly where we're going to do this all again with Stephen Moffat and Jenna as well. But thank you very much indeed. It's a great pleasure meeting you.
You're very welcome.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so
much. With Doctor Who as well. I've been a big fan of all your work as well.
Thank you.
It's going to be terrific. It's going to be magnificent. Thank you very much indeed. Peter Capaldi, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. We're slightly over time, but before we say goodbye to you, let's get some weather from Derek.